Welcome to another episode of the Game of Inches Sports News. In the first article we're going to be looking at, it's going to be Antetokounmpo hit with two 10-second violations versus the Warriors, but calls need to be more consistent.
Although I will say, good on the ref for making these calls, because I'm pretty sure that's why the rule got put in place, so people like Giannis can't spend a fucking decade trying to shoot a free throw. It was the Bucks versus the Warriors when this happened, but it was Mark Cuban that actually made the point. I guess to have the calls be more consistent.
I would say it do need to be more consistent, and I would say maybe equal treatment, because I would have to do more research as far as like who has the longest free throw routine, or what was the longest. Because with Giannis, of course, like everybody was getting on him about how long it takes for him to shoot a free throw, even like the fans, like during playoffs and stuff, like last year and I want to say 2 seasons back. So I don't know if they're doing it just because it's Giannis and like how long he takes. And if they are, then like I said, they need to be more equal with every player. Like if another player takes a long time to shoot their free throw, they also need to make that call and don't just do it because it's Giannis.
All right. Giannis is terrible at free throws, and I think he should shorten up his free throw routine, because it doesn't matter if you spin the ball 3 times or 2 times before you shoot it. You're still going to suck at shooting if you don't practice. So I don't think this routine really has much to do with helping him shoot free throws. If anything, if he is practicing this way in practice, and takes him 15 seconds just to practice one free throw, that's probably why you suck at free throws in the first place. If you shorten your routine down to 2 seconds, you could get maybe 5 free throws up for every one that you do now in practice. So,
is he superstitious?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Maybe.
Well, Jesus Christ. Okay,
It
well,
literally
like a
nothing
red.
else to do than superstition.
Well,
I mean, it plays a role like psychologically in establishing a routine and building something that you can habitually do over time more consistently, but you can establish that with a routine that's 3 seconds instead of 15. My point is, if you're practicing it this way in practice, dude, think about how many shots you're actually getting up in practice if your routine's 15 seconds long.
no, you're burning like okay.
If you cut it down to 3 seconds, you could literally get up 500% more shots in practice, and that would actually help your free throw percentage. What a concept.
No, but that makes too much sense. That makes too much sense, dude.
Yeah, just gotta fucking pray to the rain gods instead. Right, in this article, we're gonna be taking a look at the Warriors' Draymond Green accuses ejected fan of threatening his life in latest incident involving fans and NBA players.
It's a goddamn joke, for one. And I think it's stupid. Why would anybody try to, like, out of all the NBA players to mess with, why would you do it to Draymond Green? Like, he punched his own teammate. I don't know. I don't understand where. I hope he was just drunk.
I believe the NBA need to hold fans accountable just the same way they hold the players on the court accountable for what they do, like with their fan interactions.
Oh, that's a good point.
As far as like of course everybody now has debit cards and stuff, and like Lee, I know they have a lot of resources to where they could track down who this fan is, like get their name and everything, and send them like a bill, like, yo, you've been ejected because you threatened this player's life, or like you made out seem gestures or anything. We're going to fine you this amount of money, and like you can't come to this amount of games. And like if it keeps continuing, then of course you get banned, or we just keep fining you more and more, because like players, they get fines just for like saying use profanity against against the fans and the crowd and stuff, or even if they come close to a fan, they could get fined. And like I believe the fans need to get be held accountable the same as the players, because like these fans is just getting out of control nowadays. And like just because they're basketball players, they're still human beings at the end of the day. They have feelings and they have families that's watching them, and that they got to provide for. So you just can't come out here and just say anything you want to say. Like if I'm working at Target, I'm not going to let a customer just come into like my workplace and just disrespect me and not do anything about it. So yeah, like it's good that they kicked him out, but they still need to start getting like a bigger punishment.
I think the bigger punishment comes about once every 50 years with the the malice in the palace.
Right.
One of these days, Draymond Green's gonna run up in those stands and teach you not to fucking open your mouth. I don't know. I think that this is so niche that it's just like hard to talk about in an aggregate perspective because there's so many different variables in each different little situation. So I don't know. If you're gonna say something, expect for Steven Jackson and Ron Artest to walk up in the stands and slap you across the face. And
Oh, Will
don't
Smith.
be surprised when it happens.
Well, see, here's the
Or
thing.
if it does happen, you're ready to defend yourself.
In a statement that
deserve
Draymond
it.
made about the incident, he actually said, like, hey, well, I mean, okay, so there was another incident earlier in the year where he actually talked back to a fan and the NBA instantly slapped him with a fine. This time, all he did was tell the ref, hey man, I'm pointing that guy out. I guess he's threatening my life. Like Draymond, was a professional about it. And I guess, when he was talking about it with the press after the game, that's like he mentioned what DeMarcus said. It's like, well, how am I supposed to defend myself if I say anything, I get slapped with a fine no matter what I say, or so.
Right, and then like if the NBA start to find these fans, that would prevent like another Malice in the Palace incident. Because even like the other day, I was watching a YouTube video on this fan. He was recording on his phone. And he was talking mad trash to Chris Paul, but like of course Chris Paul couldn't hear him because the dude was far away. But just calling him like bitches and hoes and everything, and like some dudes they don't like to be like that's disrespectful. Some dudes can't take that. Like if you do that to me, like oh man, you can say whatever you want, just don't get physical with me. But like other dudes, if you calling them out their name, it's like it's a trigger. They ready to fight, especially if you growing up in like the ghetto or whatever. When you in a fight every day or you getting disrespected every day, so you have no choice but to defend yourself in a physical way. And now you at your basketball game just trying to make a living, and there's somebody in the crowd just heckling you like that, calling you out your name. And you might have your wife or your son sitting courtside, and they could probably hear it too. So now it's like disrespectful to you and your family. So of course it just puts you in another mind state to where we about to get it on now.
I highly disagree with finding fans, as this is a business and you never want to disincentivize your customer. If anything, over time that would lead to lower NBA wages, less opportunity for players in the league. It would just be a lose-lose for everyone. It'd be kind of like, if you look at it from a business perspective, PayPal just came out and announced they're going to be fining their customers $2,500 for posting things on social media that the company disagrees with. So, I mean, personally, I was using PayPal as my depository institution for my business transactions, and literally within the day of hearing that, I had my account shut down. So, if I heard that I was going to be fined for saying something mean at an NBA game, I wouldn't go to the game.
It's not saying something
I'm not
mean,
paying
it's
for...
No, it's saying something disrespectful.
Yeah, but I mean...
Like you can't curse a player. If you want to trash talk a player, you can trash talk a player. But you can't curse a player out though, like calling up.
You can't measure respect. Respect is different to everybody. So you can't measure that consistently between each person.
All right, but like if a man being disrespectful to me and I'm just out here trying to like play my game, I'm already in a heated situation, like my team losing, and you about to call me out my name being disrespectful, like you ain't talking trash, you're being disrespectful. So yeah, I'm about to go over there and whoop his ass. I'm about to get in this crowd. You want to find me?
Yeah,
Like,
then do it.
I'm about to whoop his ass, but then like it's
Do
still
that.
a bad look if I'm getting in the crowd and I'm fighting these fans and shit. It's still a bad look on the NBA. Like, okay, you guys can't keep your players in control.
Yeah, so you
because
just
this fan over here, yeah,
that's your decision. You know, you can't control your emotions well, so then you just miss a year. But it gets handled, and that's fine. You know, if you want to fight someone and you want to spend a year's salary making that decision, go for it. But you're also
my boss,
able
but
to
my boss
still
don't have my
receive
back.
that year's
See, like with
salary
PayPal,
because you have people that come to the
they
games.
taking control away from people. Like, I don't mind if the fans trash talk me or say whatever they want, but just don't be so disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be disrespectful to anyone, but if you start finding fans, you know, you're gonna lose your customers. So,
Like,
and if you lose your customers,
but
you can't
they
pay
still
your
banning
employees.
fans. Isn't it the same thing as them banning fans? Because they lost the customer by banning this one person for doing something.
No, because it's you go to the game and you get banned, and cool, you just don't go to the game anymore. You know, it's not like, oh, if I go to the game and I have a beer, you know, and I say something that hurts someone's feelings, I could be fined $2,000. You know, like I'm not going to go to the fucking game, and I'm
But that's the
not
same
going
with
to spend
being
money
banned.
on beer. You know, your concession
That's their,
revenue is going to go down, ticket sales is going to go down, parking is going to go down. When all that goes down, you don't have enough money to pay your players, their salaries go down. It's just, the whole NBA suffers if you start fining people.
like, okay, it's suffering right now with these fans. I guess so. I mean,
This doesn't make sense from a
the way I
business.
look at it is they don't care about their players. They let these fans just say like obscene, like wild stuff.
But they do
The
care
fact
about
that
their
this
players
America,
because they're setting them up in a position to get paid $50 million a year.
like,
You
bro, I
know,
don't care how much money you're paying me. I'm not about to let anybody talk to me any type of way. And then like I go to the commissioner and say like, yo, he's saying all this stuff. We paying you 50 million. Just deal with it. Like,
Well,
all
I
right,
think
fuck that
if
50
like,
million. I'm out of here, then.
well, I think like,
no, they
I guess
kicked us.
if I was an NBA player
Someone's life.
and if someone
You
was
get
someone was in the
legal
crowd talking shit to me and I'm like, okay, you're the one sitting in the crowd
Legal.
with the $15 beer. I'm the one with a $15 million contract on the court. I do not care about you or what you have to say. I'm gonna continue playing my game.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Like, you shouldn't be disrespected anyway, but that's illegal.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah.
If someone's threatening your life, you know, you pass that
Well,
off.
yeah, that's another thing.
You
Yeah.
know, that's not something.
I'm just
that-
saying like, well, yeah,
Even
no,
when
no,
they be
no.
throwing their beer and stuff out there on the court trying to hit the players and stuff.
Yeah.
That is also
But no,
illegal.
yeah, no, I'm saying
That's
like
assault.
obviously
Yeah, that's
this
what I mean,
case.
like,
It's assault.
That's what
It's
I mean when I
assault
said
if
we
you sit on
start
someone.
finding fans and stuff when they start doing things like that to at least minimize that stuff happening again.
No,
Or
you
like
just
from another
pass it
fan.
off to the authorities, and that person spends like a year in jail. You know.
Yeah, at that point, I think at that point law enforcement would have to deal with it because like that's just being a stupid person throwing a beer under the.
It's considered assault. So
At that point, I feel like that would be out of the teams and the security team's hands.
in this article, we're going to be looking at the Suns, and they suffer their 5th straight loss to the Rockets. Their longest losing streak since the 2019-2020 season. So with that being said, DeMarcus, what do you think?
Well, obviously the Suns isn't an NBA Finals team anymore. Like it's losing 5 straight is it's not good with a team trying to get back there. Then of course, in the past 2 games they was without Devin Booker, and it just I would say it's an eye opener for the Phoenix Sun organization and coaching staff. Because now they see that they cannot win without Devin Booker, and now they need somebody to, besides Chris Paul, or maybe they need Chris Paul to step up more to like either score more or just do more playmaking in his absence. 'Cause as a team, they're only shooting 42% from home at home, 43% when they're away, and from the 3-point line, they're shooting 38% at home and 36% away. So they like their field goal percentage is pretty poor. 4-9 on the road and 0-2 in overtime. And when you make it to the playoffs, you have to win on the road if you want to advance. So they really need somebody to step up big. And man, you've been talking, Kevin. They probably need a wing player. Try to trade for a wing player to help them out.
I agree with DeMarcus. I think it is a massive fucking wake-up call for the Suns because, well, for one, me being uneducated, I forgot to. I didn't realize that Devin Booker was out. Now I understand, or like how long has he been out, or has he been out
The past
for
2 games.
past 2 games? So
Not even the full losing streak.
Yeah, he was still there when they was losing.
okay, so is that really a matter of Devin Booker not being there, or is it just overall the Suns need to?
He said they need to wake up. Pretty sure maybe 2 of the last 2 games they probably could have won with Devin Booker, but they still need to wake up and make some moves or get him some help.
Yeah, I mean, it's the losing streak started with Devin Booker, and I think he was the one who actually was behind the first couple losses as he played a couple terrible games against some pretty big teams. He had terrible shooting percentages, so he's definitely not out of the blame in this losing streak. But I think this really just speaks to chemistry. You have Chris Paul coming back for his first games of the season, and you still don't have a power forward available on your team. So definitely need to get that 4 position figured out. And even your 3 position is pretty inconsistent too. So if you can get your 3 and your 4 position figured out and give several more games for Chris Paul to come back, I think the team's fine. Like with the Nuggets, Jamal Murray took about 20 games to recover from his injury. If you look at the Clippers, you have Kawhi Leonard's having a slow start to the year too. But that's just something, takes about 10 to 20 games for you to get your legs back under you after an injury, especially when you're at Chris Paul's age. So I think this is just to be expected. So I would agree they should be looking to get a wing player coming into trade deadline though. So I would highly expect to see them trying to make some moves.
Yeah, I would also. And then another thing I want to add to that is the fact that it's only December right now, so we're still in like that first half of the season. Which for the Suns, they don't really need they still got like time to like make adjustments and like get better. But once we get into this new year, and then once that second half of the season begins, like after the All-Star games, those are the times when the games really matter and each win really counts. And that's when they really need to like have things figured out, so that way when they're going into the playoffs, they can know like what player we could use in case we don't have Devin Booker, or who we could use to like come off the bench and give us some valuable minutes and some big, some decent amount of points and stuff.
I think that's part of the problem. Like a lot of their players that are healthy right now, like showing in the picture, they have Josh Okogie, the Phoenix Sun, to the left on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
They also have Torrey Craig. You have a lot of players that you brought in to fill in around Devin Booker that provide a lot more of that defensive mindset. So one of your players that you want to be helping on the offensive end is Cameron Johnson, as he's a really good shooter and he can score the ball. He's one of the players that's been out all season, so I think that's part of the reason they're struggling offensively. They're missing one of their starting offensive contributors.
Yeah, well, they need to get him back ASAP.
Yeah, that would definitely help. That would also give them a power forward to use on their team also, which they don't have any advantage at the moment. In this one, we're going to be taking a look at the Boston Celtics pull out a wild overtime win after exchanging fourth quarter collapses with the Lakers.
I am not surprised. Me being stupid, I'm like, well, okay, how the hell did we get to this point? And then I look at, I go to the game flow on here on ESPN, and I go here, and I'm just like, oh, that's how the fuck this happened. At this point, what was it, 106-93? That with 4 minutes left. Jesus, I don't even know what to say. That's just hilarious. Also, one other thing I wanted to say really quickly because I've been stuttering. The only players to do anything on the team were Westbrook, James, Davis. James was only 3 and 11 from the 3-point line, and it's like Anthony Davis actually played a game and he had 37 minutes. So yeah, points. Fuck, points.
This shit is fucking pathetic. How you have 3 guys and one guy coming off the bench in double digits, and everybody else didn't even make it over fucking 7 points. Like, the Lakers is just fucking terrible. I had hopes for you guys. Now I don't. Like, I don't want to be bashing them, but man, either get rid of that fucking whoever the fuck that guy is at the GM, Rob Pelinka, or like make some fucking moves, because you can't have just 3 guys on your team. Like, not even a fourth guy can get 10 points for you. And only your 3 star players get fucking well over 20, and they take it to overtime.
Yeah, that's bad.
And what you say, Kevin? Like,
really
yeah, they
bad.
Played down at all of them, like through the whole 4 quarters. So when overtime comes, they don't have any help because they fucking exhausted and nobody else can score a damn bucket. And you let fucking Jaylen Brown go off for fucking 15 rebounds. They just need to get better. Shout out to Anthony Davis though. He had a double-double, 37 and 12. LeBron almost had a triple-double. Westbrook had a double-double coming off the bench. Sixth man of the year right there. Good win by Boston because that is a fucking tough team, but the Lakers, y'all is fucking terrible right now. I'm gonna hand it up to you, Kevin, before I say something else.
Sounds good. So I actually watched this game, and the Celtics were clearly ahead in momentum going into the fourth. And then they got to 90 points and just didn't score for 6 or 7 minutes straight. And after the Lakers took a 4-point lead, they called I think they took like a 8-point lead, and then they started losing that lead. And the Lakers coach Ham called a timeout to regroup, and he tried subbing out LeBron and AD to get them some rest going into the stretch, and they actually refused to come out of the game. So there might be some chemistry issues building with the Lakers and their respect for their coach and the coaching staff that they have out there, as they did refuse a coach's order to come out of the game. So that decision actually came back around and kind of was their Achilles heel in overtime, as DeMarcus was saying. By the time the game was over, they were absolutely exhausted. AD was bricking shots off the backboard with barely hitting the rim, like open shots from three. I think the last like 5 or 6 shots, at least like 90% of their last shots were coming from 3-point range, which means they weren't willing to go down and try to bang for some layups and get some easy points down low. They were just trying to get easy shots out on the perimeter because they were tired and they were missing those terribly. So it all comes back to that decision not to come out of the game to get a little bit of rest for the stretch. So I think that's an interesting part of this that should be talked about also. All right, in the next article, we're going to be looking at Zion Williamson and Joel Embiid are named the NBA Players of the Week.
I think it's great, especially for Zion. You know, coming back after the injury, I think last season, just coming back and being a dominant force, and like being a player everybody thought he would be, just like dominant, amazing on offense, and get you some good defense in there, block shots, amazing highlights, and of course Joel, you know, always putting out them MVP numbers. Trying to pull up my stats, but I like it because I got both of them on my fantasy team. So shout out to Corey for making the trade.
Right. So I just wanted to point out a couple individual stats for each one of them. So Zion, if you look at his numbers, the field goal percentage is over 70%. And throughout his young career so far, he has been one of the best players in all of history when it comes to being able to score the ball efficiently. So I believe his career field goal percentage is well over 60%. So this is just another day of work for him, shooting over 70%. So I just wanted to point that out. He is showing that's his special skill is being able to score efficiently. And with usage, you can really scale that up. So I think the sky is the limit for this guy. And when it comes to Joel Embiid, if you look at his points per game, he has come back from injury and he hasn't missed a beat. He just came right back in and he is scoring over 40 points a game. So that's like Wilt Chamberlain type numbers. So this is only a week worth of data, but just the numbers that these guys are putting out are pretty incredible. So like DeMarcus and Corey were saying, shout out to these guys. They're incredible talents.
Yeah, and then even like with Zion, as you said, Kevin, like this man, he's young, so he's still going to be able to grow and get more stronger than what he is right now. And that's what scares me the most. Not as a fan, but like if I was a player out there having to like match up against this guy, like this dude he's still young and he's already as strong. Because I remember seeing him like rip a rebound out of Giannis' hands and slam it down.
Oh jeez, yeah, that's why I was saying like maybe Giannis. I'm like, oh no, he's stronger than Giannis.
Oh yeah, like, and that's one thing I like about Zion. He's not afraid to go up against anybody.
No,
It's almost just like Ja Morant. Like he's going to drive that lane and try to dunk on you, John Morant. Zion Williamson is going to do the same thing, and he's going to like try to box you out or grab a rebound or anything over you. Like he don't back down.
That's another
He
thing.
reminded me of Shaq when he came in the league.
He's great on both sides of the ball. That's what I love about Zion
Oh, yeah.
Williamson. He actually fucking tries in defense.
Hey, I'm gonna start calling him Debo. That's what that is. That's Debo on the court.
Debo?
Friday.
Yeah. You never seen the movie Friday?
No, I'm not cultured.
Oh, that's a top 3 movie for me. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, it is.
That's a great reference. In this article, we're going to be looking at why Cade Cunningham's season-ending injury won't help the Pistons' odds of drafting Victor Wembanyama.
Well, I think it's because they already suck. Yeah, they're on a 3-game losing streak, and that was when they had him, when they had Cade Cunningham. It's like they're already the worst. They're already the worst team in the NBA right now. If anything, it kinda helps him with their draft chances, but since they're already the worst team, I don't think it'll have any effect.
All right, I'll hop in second this time. So, I don't think I guess point that this article is making is that, in my opinion, Cade Cunningham's injury won't affect the odds of drafting Victor Wembanyama because they have so many other young players that can step up and really benefit from this experience on the court. So I think the point this article is trying to make is they also have a rookie this year named Jaden Ivey, my bad. So he had a really strong start to the season, and then he's been dealing on and off with some injuries. So I think if he can stay healthy and get some consistent experience leading this Pistons team without someone like Cade Cunningham on the floor, to where he can just every night go out and expected to be the guy on the team, I think that would be a huge benefit for the Pistons and the development of Jaden Ivey going forward, as it would help his confidence and really speed up the process and the time it takes to actually get to that level where you're confident in an NBA game. So that transition from college to professional. So I think that's what this article's getting at. But I disagree with the article. I think it is going to affect the odds of getting a Victor Wembanyama, just with how close the rankings are at the bottom of the standings between them, the Hornets, and then on the other side you have the Spurs and the Rockets. So I think the Rockets are probably going to be doing better, and at some point during the year the Hornets are going to be getting some of their players back. So I think if the Pistons did have Cade Cunningham, that would add enough wins to the record to take them out of last place. But I think without him, they have a way better chance of getting that last place.
I also think like right now the last 3 teams are like you said, the Pistons, Hornets, and Magic. And this is throughout the entire league, and I agree with you. It's like the Rockets and the Hornets are both going to slightly go up in the standings, and I think there's several. I forgot who the player we talked about earlier on the Magic, but I feel like at some point in the year, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, Branch Pablo, that guy. I think he's gonna with him getting the NBA minutes despite the record of this is just like a experience year, or just like a break-in year for Ben Shiro. So I think not only those teams, but the Magic are also going to rise up as well. So I think by the end of the season, I think the last 3 last place teams are going to be the Lakers, or not in order, not in any particular order. Lakers, Thunder, and Pistons.
Because both the Rockets and the Spurs in the West has 9 wins, and the Lakers have 11 wins. And so it's it could be very easy for them to slide down to that 15th spot in the West. That'd be crazy, man.
All right, so I think that's about all we have for this article, so we will wrap it up here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope there's some good basketball games tonight, and we will catch you in the next episode of the Game of Inches Basketball News.